The bliss of the abyss.
Once upon a time in a land far away, a poor farmer and his wife lived all alone. They were very lonesome.
The Bliss of the Abyss.
With Robert Newmark Jones.
Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Bliss of the Abyss. I'm recording in my new studio. And by new studio, I mean I got some egg crate and I taped it to the inside of an IKEA box in an attempt to improve the audio fidelity of the show. So I'm talking into a small crate, and I bet it makes no fucking difference, but there we go. It looks absolutely ridiculous. But it only cost me £6. So, you know, look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. Welcome to Financial Advice with your host, Ruskin Denmark. Hello, this week on Financial Advice, look after the pennies and the pounds look after I'm sorry, we've just had our host explode. Hello there. Hello, little microphone. That is a conduit to people. People out there, how are you? How are you? Back this week with a solo episode. I've had so many guests in a row, I've lost count. But it's just me. It's just me this week. This whole show is really just me. It's a lot of me. It's too much of me, isn't it? That's why I have guests. But then, it's not enough of me, so then it's more of me. Does that make sense? Does that make all the sense in the world? Good. Well done. Welcome to the show. Speaking of me and the show, I've set up a Patreon. There's no obligation to go and join it, of course. That's not what I'm doing. But if you would fancy chipping in a £5 a month just to help me run this show, I do literally everything myself, as you can probably tell. But I'm working hard to try and make it a better product, and I'm reaching out to various people, and I've got all kinds of irons in the fire, some of which will require me to spend a little bit of money. For example, getting a proper microphone would be ace. Not having to talk into a tiny little IKEA box superglued with egg box would be brilliant. But also, there is absolutely zero pressure. I support a few podcasts on Patreon, but I also completely believe in it being free at the point of use. I don't think there should be, any of them should be behind a paywall. I understand why some of them are, but for me, the essence of podcasting is like pirate radio. It's like you have your own show, you get it out there, people listen to it or they don't. But I am now just offering an option for those of you who do feel like you can share a little bit to help the show progress and grow and evolve, but that's just my tiny little corner. So if you fancy, then more than welcome, and I'll have bonus content for you. Can you imagine what might that be? Pictures of his willy. Don't think I'm allowed to do that. Oh, there's a window open. But if I am allowed to do that, for sure, that will happen. Only for those people who want it, obviously. Maybe I should set up an OnlyFans instead. Should have Patreon. OnlyFans. Does anyone know about OnlyFans.com? Ooh, you want to see some titties? That's where you go. Yeah, so that's the Patreon thing. Speaking of funding the arts, some relatively good news today. Albeit quite late. The government have announced about £1.5 billion pounds for the UK theatre and live music events industry. long overdue since lockdown was, 4 months ago, I think. And these venues have been making zero money. And just the other day, there was a post, let's see if I can find it, which has been shared thousands and thousands of times from Stephen M.J. Laverty. He says, today is not a good day. Today, the National Theatre had to let go of all their front of house staff, which includes me and the vast majority of my understudy cohorts, with plenty more redundancies on the way. Let that sink in. The National Theatre cannot afford to keep their front of house staff. If the NT is struggling to survive, what hope do smaller arts companies have? He continues, the UK arts industries are world leaders, contributing over £11 billion per year to the economy. UK theatre in particular is revered worldwide. The government's inertia is destroying it. Wetherspoons has received £48.3 million from the government. So far, the arts have received nothing. The UK arts industries are dying, and the government has stood by and done nothing. For a country so proud of their culture, this is a national disgrace. Strong words, and completely agree. And there was a lot of pressure from industry leaders on social media. I know amongst my cohort, people I know in the industry, everyone was signing petitions, sharing things, writing posts, doing whatever they could in their area. And so we have managed to achieve this amount of money. Who knows how far it will go? Who knows how generous it will be? A lot of it seems to be loans. Who knows how generous those terms will be? To give you some idea, France, I think it was 3 weeks in, I might be wrong about that, but very soon into the pandemic, they put together a package of €7 billion, and artists were paid a wage until August 2021. Canada put 500 million Canadian dollars, New Zealand 175, Ireland 20 million, Germany £1 billion. The UK had literally put £0 into that pot. So it's very welcome now. As ever, this government that we have undervalue the things that it seems like everyone actually does value in this country. Things like art, things like the NHS. I don't want to get too political on this show because that's not the point of this show. I'm just a truth speaker. That's all I'm doing. I don't modify my talking. I don't parrot any talking points from any side. I'm just coming to you from the heart. This is an issue that obviously means a lot to me. And it's part of the reason that this podcast exists in the first place is because my industry was devastated, as were so many others, by COVID-19. Thinking about it the other day, actually, it's starting to feel a bit dated, isn't it? COVID-19. It's like, come on, we're halfway through 2020. Like, who gives a fuck? That was 6 months ago. See, give a shit, mate. I'm joking, of course, but you know what? Having been out on this on Saturday, the 4th of July, when lockdown was effectively lifted, although what in actuality it meant was that restaurants and pubs were open. Pretty much everything else seemed like it's not open yet, or they're opening soon. Like, no galleries, no bowling alleys, no cinemas, no theatres, so pubs. And if someone hasn't seen the pictures of what Soho looked like in the middle of the night, do yourself a favour and Google them. It's wall-to-wall people stumbling around, laughing, getting drunk. No masks, no social distancing. I mean, you just can't. There just comes a certain point where you can't control what people are doing anymore. And it seems we're way past that point. And I mean, we could point fingers at loads of people. We know who the obvious suspects are that has brought us to this situation, but it is beyond the pale now. And so it's fucking, extra infuriating and annoying for those of us who are actually following social distancing guidelines. Caitlin and I went to an Italian restaurant. It was delicious polpo in Chelsea. So we walked to Chelsea and bike rided a bit of the way as well, and had a meal served to you. So good. Caitlin was able to eat gluten because of that collagen peptides. It actually works. If anyone out there has any inflammation issues, try supplementing with collagen peptides. I'll put a link in the show description. Click through that and do yourself a favour. It's changed her life. It's changed her life. You know, she's a New Yorker, right? She can't have pizza. What? Hey, I come from New York. I can't eat no pizza. What do you think I am, huh? Pizza, pasta, prosciutto. I realised the other day that Glastonbury had kind of been and gone without me even noticing, because we also had tickets for that, for the 50th anniversary. Paul McCartney, Noel Gallagher, Kendrick Lamar, T Swift. I mean, it was going to be fucking epic. And it's just one of the many things coronavirus is fucking destroyed. Speaking of, why don't we have a little look at coronavirus cases? It's been a while since we did the COVID check-in. COVID cast. 11.59 million cases worldwide. And that chart is going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Still. I mean, out of the active cases, only 1% are serious, so that's good. But daily new cases is just beep, 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 beep. When's it going to end? Should we check on Timor-Leste? Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste. Have they removed their numbers? Still at 24, eh? Xavier, mate, you've really led the world here. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? That is amazing. I wonder who's got the worst percentage. Like, for example, Greenland, 13 cases, 13 recovered. 100% success rate. That's great, right? Who's got sort of like 5 cases, 3 deaths? Not to get morbid. It looks like Sint Maarten, which I believe is Dutch, Caribbean. This is morbid though, isn't it? God. Deaths per million population. Okay, let's organise it by that. Who's top of the list? San Marino. Total cases 698. Total deaths 42. And that's a rich place. I've been to San Marino because I'm fucking rolling in it. That's a bit surprising to see, isn't it? Right. It's weird. I wonder what they've been doing. Belgium is fucked as well. Jesus. Well, things can only get better. Can only get better. Let's wait for that plane. What else did I want to talk about? I tell you what has been blowing up recently is the comedy industry. In quite an insular and remarkable way. A lot of shady shit's been going down. A lot of people have been cancelled. A lot of people have been outed for their terrible behaviour. Have lost positions of power. Have lost agency and agents and sponsorship deals and all the rest of it. And as far as I can tell, all of it is justified. Actually, there have been some really shit people in comedy for a while taking advantage of people. and they're finally having a day of reckoning. Quite a few of them, without naming any names. But I'm going to name one name because what is happening to him is outrageous, and I think it needs more of a platform, which is that Obonjo, who is a beloved comedic character in the UK comedy scene, President Obonjo of the Laughter Republic, and he plays this fake African dictator. And he's been doing this act for years, and he's very well known and loved, and anyone in the comedy community knows about him. And then, last week, a week ago, let's check. Okay, it's not BBC, it's E4. I'm not sure I said BBC. Anyway, E4 have announced that, I don't know this person, so I'm not going to out their name, but they're going to play a fictional African dictator called Colonel Banjoko in a new spoof talk show. Of course, Benjamin Bello has been performing his act, his President Obonjo. He's been doing that for 10 years. And it's BBC Studios and E4. He told Chortle, E4 and BBC Studios have stolen my act and created a TV pilot. I've been developing the I have been developing the character President Obonjo on the comedy circuit for nearly 10 years. I've carefully crafted the comedic personality of an African dictator adrift in the UK, and the similarities to the E4 pilot announced yesterday are deeply worrying. Yeah, that's right. I'm gutted by this latest development. I'm going to fight this with all I've got. I created this idea. It is my concept. I am the real African dictator, the only one in the UK. This is stealing 10 years of work. I'm taking professional advice. BBC Studios said the character was their idea. A spokesman said, Colonel Banjoko is an original character created by BBC Studios for Samson Kayo, and we are delighted he is taking on the role. It was inspired by a general in a recent coup who asked everyone to remain calm on the table. Well, Bello has called on the comedy community to help. I am doing my little bit of help for you here, Bello. All right, Benji. I mean, I'm disgusted. I mean, I don't know who's to blame here, but it's not right, and I hope it doesn't go forward. It's not cool. President Obonjo is the only dictator, and you heard it here, and I will go to my grave fighting for that. So, got your back, Prez. Please don't kill me. It's just the creative theft. I mean, a lot of the other stuff that's been going on in the comedy community is sexual allegations and revelations about misconduct, and sometimes far worse than that. And people are facing a day of reckoning that clearly has been long overdue. I'm so sick of people in positions of power fucking abusing them. And that brings me on to something else I wanted to talk about, which is Ghislaine Maxwell. So, this is extraordinary. Has anyone been following the Epstein story? I mean, I guess in a certain way we all have. We all know he committed suicide, although independent autopsies have basically said that that is not what happened because of the way that the bones in his neck were broken. You should see pictures of the person he was sharing a room with, and there's more than enough reason to doubt, especially considering how many powerful people he knew and probably had dirt on and flew on his plane. Like, Clinton flew on his plane 30 times or something like that. I mean, the man and the stories, I mean, this is Netflix, but before that was a podcast I was listening to about it. The stories coming out of that man's life are just fucking gut-wrenchingly gross. And some of it was shown in that fucking train wreck of an interview that Prince Andrew did with the BBC, was it? I don't know. It was with Emily Maitlis, badass. I'm a big fan. You know that if you've listened to this show. Emily Maitlis is a badass. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just so fucking obvious that it's just like the more shit that fucking comes out, right? And it's been going on for years that there's been these rumours of Hollywood is just full of paedophiles and sexual creeps, right? And it's a cabal. And what's coming out is Not necessarily that it's a cabal. We can't prove that. But what's definitely coming out is that a fuckload of people with a lot of power are complete perverts. Some of them paedophiles, some of them rapists, some of them just disgusting creeps and abusers and all of the rest of it. And they've been making our film and TV and comedy for years. What the fuck? Anyway, Epstein is not really in that world, although he did fraternize with those people all the time. But Ghislaine, for those of you who don't know, was his like fixer in a way, his partner, son of the wealthy. Is he a print magnate? Yeah, he was an MP. I didn't know that. He was a media proprietor. Yeah, suspected spy and fraudster. Yeah, he had whatchamacall. Yeah, he misappropriated the Mirror Group pension fund. So that's nice. Whilst being a billionaire, of course. How much fucking money do you want? Anyway, his daughter, Ghislaine, inherited a fuck ton of money when he died and palled around with Epstein, exploiting and trafficking women, often very young women, and seemingly acting with impunity the whole time. So, all the Epstein stuff comes out. Everyone is very clear that she has a big role in it, and she's nowhere to be seen, right? Where is this Ghislaine? I mean, and everyone else who seemed to be implicated in this whole thing seems to have just conveniently dodged every bullet, despite there being so many bullets out there flying through the air, drowning in bullets. But no, they've dodged them. They've dodged them somehow. Apparently it was all just Epstein. Epstein did everything, all him. All of it. That makes sense. Anyway, Ghislaine's now been caught. They found her. And she's going to face justice. So she's got a date in court. But, now this is where my mind starts to go, But it was revealed the other day that she has coronavirus. She got coronavirus, does she? Does she, though? Does she? Let's see what it says. Oh, I'm an idiot. Apparently it was satire. I mean, it was a BBC article, except it wasn't. Oh, look, if you check carefully, you notice it's dated next week. Yeah, I didn't check carefully. Why is fake content able to be shared so easily? It's not satire. The Onion is satire. I mean, The Onion is actually genuinely hilarious and is clearly satire. That is just fake news. I mean, masquerading as real news, isn't it? Like, it's fake news. But also, how believable is it? And why is it believable? Because we don't think powerful people are going to face justice. That's just, we've seen it too many times that they don't. Like, that's why the fucking Harvey Weinstein thing was so actually surprising, because no one thought he would be found guilty, because so routinely these fucking evil predators with power and money just get off because they can afford to. Because justice, especially in America, is not based on the truth. It's based on the size of your purse. And the whole cash bail system is absolutely outrageous. Getting heated. Yeah, that is not satire, right? This is satire. The Onion. Headline. News in brief. City enters phase 4 of pretending coronavirus over. That's funny and is obviously satire. Ghislaine Maxwell getting COVID-19 is just quite likely. I mean, people, if she's in a jail, and I think she is, I mean, she should be. She surely hasn't been, she surely hasn't been given bail, right? I mean, that's ridiculous to even, I mean, how is she only just facing justice now, anyway? Like that doesn't make any sense. But let's see. Yeah. No, she's not been given bail. She's in jail, and she's going to be in court on Friday. That's this Friday. Maxwell was arrested on Thursday at a $1 million estate in Bradford, New Hampshire. So she was just in America the whole time, and they were just like, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Lots of other things to do first. Like issue parking tickets and beat up minorities. Fucking hell. Maxwell, 58, has previously denied any wrongdoing and called some claims against her absolute rubbish. Yeah, absolute rubbish, is it? What about the mountain of evidence? I mean, since Epstein was arrested in July 2019, Maxwell had been in hiding in locations in New England, sometimes masking her location by changing her phone number and listing her name as G. Max, prosecutors said. Sorry? That's hiding your identity, is it? Oh, God, I didn't realise it was so easy. Wow. Rob Neumark. It couldn't possibly be Robert Newmark. No way. There's just no correlation. Over the weekend, pictures emerged of Maxwell and the actor Kevin Spacey sitting on thrones belonging to the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh during a visit to Buckingham Palace in 2002. What? I have got to see those. You are fucking kidding me. Oh my giddy aunt. Look at them. Literally a pair of exploitative paedophiles sitting on the throne and laughing. Allegedly. Come and sue me. I'm not having fucking money to fight it. Become a patron and help me in my lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell and Kevin Spacey. Sitting on the throne and yucking it up. You see what I'm talking about? The cabal. The cabal. Oh, God. I mean, what are you going to make of it all, eh? What are you fucking going to make of it all? Anyway. What do avocados and orchids have in common? I'll tell ya. Testicles. Welcome to What Do Two Things Have in Common? The answer? Testicles. Right. I've got a story for you, and then we'll wrap up the show. That's what Pop Shield's for. Pop Shield. Pop Shield's leading the way. Pop Shield's leading the way. I better not waste all my energy. I'm going to be on the radio later on today. Listen to me on the radio. I'm just as good, but I can't swear. Fuck. Isn't it funny? Aren't you an idiot? Aren't you a fucking moron? Let's do a little story. Welcome to, oh, that's a good story. Cut. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way it sounded. It just sounded a bit like, please with yourself and, shut up, kind of thing. Welcome to the story. Welcome. I don't know why there was such a big pause there. Welcome to the story time. No. Welcome to story time. I quite like that voice. Welcome to story time. Well, let me begin this story. Actually, that's going to be fucking annoying over the whole course of a story, isn't it? Why am I so weird? Welcome. Why don't I just do it in my normal voice? Welcome to story time. Because I sound pissed off. It's not funny though. I think what's happened in my life so far is that things that I find funny, other people find annoying, and I get those two things confused, and that's why I don't have any friends. Friends. Speaking of not having any friends, I forgot to respond to my friend Rahul. Shout out to Rahul. How you doing, buddy? I'm going to have to cut so much of this because I'm chatting such bollocks. I do like my new little egg box. Hello, welcome to the egg box. Does it work? I don't know. Ugh, that's disgusting, boy. Boy, don't talk to me, boy. No, don't talk back to me, you big blue lout. Things are unravelling fast now. Get the point? No, I'm not drunk, thank you. I just have mental health issues. What am I doing? I'm trying to do story time. Jesus Christ, pinball mind. Welcome back to Story Time. Story time, where there's a story in time. Just fucking tell the fucking story, you... Ow! Watch it, mate. Yeah? I'm trained. I'm a white belt in jiu-jitsu. What do you reckon that actually is? Do you think that's me slapping my face or a sound effect? Okay, guess. Real or sound effect? You decide. Welcome to Real or Sound Effect. You decide. You decide. You inside decide how to be inside the side of sides. Decide. Okay, so then this is a story of which I play no part. You'll be happy to hear. But I think it's a fucking hilarious story, and it's one my mama told me. Shout out Victoria Newmark. So the names will be changed. I don't know why. Fucking cares. Anyway, this is a story. Cast your mind back in time to the 1970s. We have two characters. What shall we call them? A female and a male protagonist. I think we'll call them Althea, because of the reggae group Althea and Donna, is it? Althea and Donna, yeah. Uptown top ranking. Oh. I strictly roots, not pop, not style. I strictly roots. Okay, so she's going to be called Althea. And who's going to be the main man? The main man. I don't want to choose someone whose name has been compromised. Kevin. Jeffrey. What shall we call him? Who did I see yesterday that I know? Oh, okay. My brother. So, Thomas. Obviously, this isn't about that Thomas. Of course. So, cast your mind back to the 70s, the 1970s in the United Kingdom. Althea and Thomas go to university together. They share some common acquaintances, but he is very much the talk of the town, an exciting, young, creative, a bright star in the local scene, and she is a nobody, a wallflower. but she pines for Thomas. By the way, this is all true, can I just say? So I should probably put a bit less mustard on it. This is just a true story. I've just changed the names, okay? So they're at uni. He's like this big star on campus. She's really not, but she has her eye on him and is just too shy to do anything about it. And she never makes a move, and he doesn't realise that she's interested, and on they go, like ships passing in the night. So fast forward a few years, she's now in London teaching at a comprehensive school, and he is running a theatre. She has been following his career, keeping up with what he's been doing, and he has no idea what she's doing. He didn't really ever know her that well at all, but she's been keeping her eye on him. She always carried that flame. It never went out. So she harbours dreams. She wants this man. She likes him. She can tell they might have some kind of special bond. If only there was some way to get his interest, to get him to pay attention, to notice her, then she's sure that they would click, and together they'd have something special. So one day, she bumps into him. Now, I'm not sure if this bump into was on purpose or coincidental. Let's say it's on purpose. And goes, "Oh, it's me, Althea. Do you remember me, Thomas?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "Hey, do you want to grab a coffee?" And he's like, "Okay." So they have a coffee and they start an informal, casual friendship, and it's going well. But he's not quite getting the message that she would like to be more than just friends. So one day they're on their way to a coffee shop. They're walking past a hospital, and he just asks, "Althea, have you ever been in hospital?" And she goes, yes, I was actually once." He goes, "Oh, just once, yeah. What was it for?" "Well, I had gangrene in my foot, and I almost lost it, actually. It was really serious, and luckily they saved me in time, but it was really, really bad." And he's like, "Wow, gangrene. How do you get gangrene?" She comes up with this elaborate tale of being travelling and in some bad conditions and terrible rain, tropical rainforest, and not realising, and trench foot, and pain and gangrene. "Oh my God, there's no one to treat it. Oh, rush me back, fly back, emergency. Oh my God, we're going to lose the foot. Quick, operate." And he's like, "Wow, that's fascinating." And somehow it somehow opens up their relationship, and suddenly he's sharing more, and suddenly their coffee is more like a glass of wine, and suddenly they are kissing, and suddenly they're an item, and they're a great match. They're a wonderful couple, and over the years they grow up, they go to parties. Oh, and it's one of the favourite stories. Tell the story. Tell them about your foot. See, she'd been to hospital just once. You'll never guess what it was for. Go on, Althea. Tell the story. And finally, 20 years later, she's in hospital because she's given birth. And he's there. And the nurse is, just checking some things, and she's like, "Have you ever been hospitalised before?" And she says, No. And Thomas says, What? And she goes, And he goes, What about the gangrenous foot story? That one that you tell all the time and repeat all the time? And she goes, "I lied. I lied." The whole relationship was based on a tissue of lies, right? And and she said, and he said, "Well, why didn't you just lie now and say that yes, you had been in a hospital before? Like, how hard would that be? Yes, I was in a hospital before. Like, why now? Why now?" And she said, "Well, I was just worried that if I lied now, they might check my record, find out, hello, we have an Althea here, blah, 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 gangrene, etc., and find out I was just a filthy liar and then kick me out onto the street and I'd have to give birth on the street to my baby. And Thomas said, I love you, darling, and they gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The end. Thank you so much for fucking listening to the fucking show, man. It really means the world to me. It means the world to me. I love you guys so much, my little Bliss of the Abyss loyal army. If you'd like to send me some advice, it's theblissoftheabyss@gmail.com. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/theblissoftheabyss. Links and everything in the bottom of the show as usual, and I'll see you next week. In the meantime, be good to each other, love one another, keep going, keep moving, keep building higher and higher. I love you. Bye. Mwah. Thank you for listening to the show. That was The Bliss of the Abyss. All music provided by the incredibly talented Nils Hennis-Steer. If you have anything you'd like to say, positive or negative, send it to theblissoftheabyss@gmail.com, and I'll see you soon.
Message 1. Payroll's with me, and she's calling to see if maybe you're in now, but I guess not, so I guess I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. Talk to you then. Bye.